Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for being here. On September 13, 2024, Massachusetts State Trooper Enrique Delgado Garcia died while training to become a Massachusetts State Trooper. He sought to become a state trooper to fulfill his dream of serving and protecting the people of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. Shortly after Enrique's death, and after consultation with Worcester District Attorney Joe Early, I appointed an independent investigator, Attorney David Meyer, to review the facts surrounding Enrique's death. I want to thank Enrique's family, his friends, his fellow trainees, and the public for their tremendous patience as this process unfolded. I know that to some, this process has felt long and opaque. Independent investigations are careful and thorough by necessity. In order to maintain the integrity of their process, certain aspects cannot be shared with the public. That confidentiality is by design to ensure fairness for everyone involved. Enrique was a public servant. He began his career in the Worcester District Attorney's Office as a victim witness advocate. His family has spoken openly about his intention of being someone who made a difference in the community and his dreams of becoming a Massachusetts State Trooper. He was a son, a brother, an uncle, and a friend. Enrique should be alive today. Given the extraordinary nature of these events and the complexity of this case, it was necessary to appoint an independent outside investigator. Death investigations are typically handled by the local district attorney. In this case, however, Worcester DA Joe Early appropriately determined that his office had a conflict because Enrique worked in his office as a victim witness advocate. Following conversations with DA Early, we determined that Enrique and his family deserved an investigation that was completely impartial and devoid of any perception or appearance of conflict. That's why I appointed Attorney Meyer. Attorney Meyer has extensive experience both as a prosecutor and a defense attorney, including 12 years in the Suffolk County District Attorney's Office, where he supervised, investigated, and prosecuted death investigations within Suffolk County. He has since served as partner at Todd & Weld. In this case, David investigated the facts of Enrique's death and the circumstances that surrounded it, just as my office or any other district attorney's office and its investigators would have done. My office was briefed about the investigation along the way and provided logistical support. Because of the design of the investigation, Attorney Meyer had his own independent team to conduct the investigation, and he had full autonomy in making investigatory and charging decisions in this case, which he will discuss shortly. I am grateful to Attorney Meyer for his thorough efforts to follow the facts and to seek accountability to those responsible for Enrique's death. In no way is this investigation and the charges it has yielded a condemnation of all law enforcement. The men and women who choose to serve, protect our communities, often in difficult and dangerous circumstances. The men and women who our law enforcement members, including those who serve in my very office, are essential to public safety and the rule of law. I know just how much the Commonwealth benefits from the men and women in uniform who serve the public because I see it up close every day. Many officers go beyond their law enforcement jobs, mentoring young people, supporting community programs, actively working in our communities in a very challenging time to build trust. Their service deserves respect and recognition. And just as they protect us, it is our responsibility to ensure that our inspiring officers at the Massachusetts Police Training Academy are protected from preventable harms and to seek accountability when serious incidents occur. There is nothing more serious than the loss of a life. We can both honor the men and women who serve while also still ensuring accountability within a system, especially when someone dies. Lastly, while Attorney Meyer's investigation focused on Enrique's death, there must be serious discussion and action with respect to reforms. I know that the State Police Colonel, Jeffrey Noble, has already undertaken efforts to effectuate change, and I'm grateful to him, and I look forward to supporting him in those endeavors going forward. Because this is an ongoing legal matter, there may be some questions that I cannot answer in order to preserve the integrity of Attorney Meyer's case. We appreciate your continued patience. And at this time, I'd like to turn over the podium to Attorney David Meyer.
Thank you, Attorney General Campbell, and good afternoon. On the day that I was appointed as independent counsel, I made a commitment to the family of Enrique Delgado Garcia.
So this is the lawyer, David Meyer. His last name is Meyer. That's how it's pronounced. That was hired by the Attorney General, Enrique Campbell, to handle the so-called independent yet subsidized investigation that the government rushed, in my opinion, rushed to do. They wanted to handle their own independent investigation. But how independent is this investigation? The government is handling it. They are paying for it. Their funds, how can they not be controlling this? I've watched this 4 or 5 times. I've had several conversations in regards to that, to this press conference, which seems very professional, very nice. Everybody's in suit. I'd rather be served the best shrimp ever at a beach restaurant by a waitress in shorts and barefooted than be served mediocre food in a high-end restaurant downtown by a waitress or cooked by a chef who is on chef suits. It doesn't work that way. Something is not making sense here. And I know somebody's going to call me in the next 5 minutes and try to chop off my head because I need to go get my files. I need to go get the files out of storage. I had put this away, in a way to, in an effort to find my own peace, because there are times where so many things at once just happen to take a toll out of you. But I got to go find my notes because something is very off. Why? It's almost like the same way that state did not stepped away from making any charges on Matthew Farwell. They did not add any state charges to Matthew Farwell. And they're saying that this is what? Say that again?
To the Massachusetts State Police, to the public, and to the criminal justice system, that I would conduct the investigation professionally, thoroughly, and independently.
Right.
I pledge to follow the facts and the law, to perform my work conscientiously and responsibly, and to exercise my independent judgment to reach whatever results the facts and the law dictated.
And in all fairness, I don't know this person. Everybody is sort of like have their own reputation tattooed to their backs, right? But he could be very well be saying and doing what he just said. But again, he was hired. How do we know that the government is not controlling not only the outcome of it, but also what is being shared with the public? And coming up is what just got me furious about this. Listen to this.
Not to permit the speed of the investigation, the length of the investigation, or any other outside factors to influence the investigative process. I owed that to the family of Enrique Delgado Garcia, to the Massachusetts State Police,
even though they didn't hire you,
and to the criminal justice system. When Attorney General Campbell appointed me, I knew nothing about the facts surrounding Enrique Delgado Garcia's death or about the State Police Training Academy. I had no preconceived notion of the potential outcome of the investigation. With the support of an independent investigative team, my assignment was to gather the facts through any and all available investigative means, taking as much time as we need.
An independent investigative team. But that independent investigative team was put together by him.
Needed to do things the right way and to follow those facts and the applicable law wherever they may lead. I fully recognize that the investigative process has been lengthy and it has been conducted in silence, without public comment, at least on my part. That silence has been purposeful. It is a direct reflection of the nature of the investigation and of my ethical and legal obligations. At the same time, I can assure the public that the investigative process has been searching, it has been exhaustive, and it has been without outside influence. Given some of the challenges posed by the investigation, early last year, I sought judicial approval from the Chief Justice of the Superior Court to impanel a special statewide grand jury in order to conduct an independent fact-finding investigation into the circumstances surrounding the death of Enrique Delgado Garcia. The impanelment of a special statewide grand jury enabled us to compel the testimony of witnesses, to memorialize testimony under oath, to subpoena relevant documents and information, and to gather the facts in a formal proceeding before an independent body. At each stage of the process, the investigative team and I met with the family of Enrique Delgado Garcia to update them on the status of the investigation. We met with the family this past weekend, and we spoke to them this morning. Over the course of the past 9 months, the grand jury has heard sworn testimony from over 150 witnesses, the vast majority of whom have been state police officers. And the grand jury has reviewed close to 350 physical exhibits, the vast majority of which relate to policies, procedures, activities, and events at the State Police Training Academy. The evidence gathered by the special statewide grand jury has revealed that in the days and weeks prior to September 12, 2024, members of the State Police Training Academy committed a series of wanton and reckless acts in connection with various defensive tactics and physical confrontation training exercises conducted at the academy. The facts and circumstances underlying the wanton and reckless conduct include both A, affirmative acts by academy staff, and B, the failure of academy staff to take certain actions or omissions that they had a legal duty to perform during their daily interactions with the trainees, who were under their care, guidance, and supervision. The wanton and reckless conduct resulted in Enrique Delgado Garcia suffering concussion-like symptoms as the result of unauthorized, unapproved, and unsupervised boxing-related sparring exercises that occurred during academy training activities on Wednesday, September 11, 2024. The wanton and reckless conduct culminated in Enrique Delgado Garcia suffering multiple blunt force injuries to the head and massive brain bleeding as the result of the failure of academy staff to intervene and bring a stop to a competitive boxing match between Mr. Delgado Garcia and a fellow trainee that occurred during academy training activities the following morning on Thursday, September 12, 2024. Mr. Delgado Garcia died the following to the head and massive brain bleeding as the result of unauthorized, unapproved actions or omissions that they had a legal duty to perform during their daily interactions with the trainees, who were under their care, guidance, and supervision.
So let me pause this for a second. Defense attorney in 1993 Massachusetts trial allegedly conspired. Allegedly conspired with other attorneys and a judge to frame his own client via malicious prosecution evidence, tampering and hiding exculpatory details. It led to a wrongful conviction and a 10-year sentence. Exposure of this detail, his judgeship bid, details, where am I? Bid and damage his career. There are several ways to see who's being dishonest and honest. Absolutely, I agree. For instance, many creators say follow. Yeah, they don't. Yep. They don't discuss it if you do. That's true. It's very true. I've heard a lot of comments, but as everybody knows, I'm not in the area. But we looked into this person, and apparently this David Meyer person, and apparently he had been involved and had handled previous Massachusetts State Police cases. So, I don't know how independent it is. Why would you choose to not get somebody neutral? He is two of the attorneys for the family. I thought, wasn't it? Oh my God, what's the name of this? I gotta look it up. And then he says, the attorney who represented Proctor and jury Kakisov's in Karen's case, part of Mayor's special team. I see. That's pretty interesting. This is pretty interesting. I guess I'm going to have to go into a little bit of a rabbit hole. And, another thing is Alois. Yes, that's the one. Oh, my God. Okay. This is the part that he's going to explain now, where he's making reference to September 11th, is what prompted me to do this, because this is not what I understood. And I had a conversation with Sean McDonough yesterday trying to figure, that's not what I understood. I don't know that that September 11th had anything to do with anything until now.
The wanton and reckless conduct resulted in Enrique Delgado Garcia suffering concussion-like symptoms as the result of unauthorized, unapproved, between Mr. Delgado Garcia and a fellow trainee that occurred during academy training activities the following morning on Thursday, September 12, 2024. Mr. Delgado Garcia died the following day, September 13, 2024, as a result of the head injuries sustained during the recruit-on-recruit boxing match that Thursday morning. Based upon the facts and the law, the evidence gathered by the grand jury compels criminal prosecution of certain members of the Academy's Defensive Tactics Unit, the supervisor of the unit, and 3 full-time instructors. These individuals engaged in ongoing interactions with Enrique Delgado Garcia on September 11, when he suffered concussion-like symptoms, and on September 12, when he was knocked unconscious. These individuals also had direct management and direct individuals violated 2 criminal statutes in particular. General Laws, Chapter 265, Section 40, alleging the crime of causing serious bodily injury to a person participating in a training program involving physical exercise, and General Laws, Chapter 265, Section 13, alleging the crime of involuntary manslaughter. In addition, the evidence demonstrated that when the supervisor of the Defensive Tactics Unit was asked specifically under oath before the grand jury when it was that she first learned about Enrique Delgado Garcia's concussion-like symptoms, she repeatedly responded falsely. Given the circumstances of this investigation and the nature of the information at issue, her testimony before the grand jury violated General Laws, Chapter 268, Section 1, alleging the crime of perjury. Now, each of these charges are merely accusations. Each of these individuals is presumed to be innocent, unless and until proven guilty in a court of law. These individuals have not been and will not be arrested. I have requested that the court issue a summons for their appearance at an arraignment hearing to be scheduled in the near future